I think about death a lot. I mean, I read a lot of Stoicism, and I just tweeted about this morning, so I'll share this. This is from Seneca's Letters from a Stoic.
Okay.
There's two lines here I underlined this morning when I was reading. This one is, "You want to live, but do you know how to live? You are scared of dying, and tell me, is the kind of life you lead really any different from being dead?" Right? Like people are, and it's like, bam, wow, yeah. Seneca doesn't fuck around, man. Like you are so afraid of dying, and yet are you really alive right now? Are you really living up to the potential? Are you really going after your dreams? Are you really enjoying every single moment? Are you embracing and like seizing the day? Are you really? Because if not, then like, what are you really afraid of death? Because you're not really living to your full potential. The other quote is, "As it is with a play, so it is with life. What matters is not how long the acting lasts, but how good it is. It is not important at what point you stop. Stop wherever you will. Only make sure that you round it off with a good ending." And so I find this really valuable because a lot of time I think about death a lot, but I don't think about it as like, what if I die today? Right? It's always this abstract concept that's far down the road. And I think that's the case for a lot of us, is like we logically understand we are finite creatures, but we don't understand on the day-to-day what that really means. And I love Seneca. I love this memento mori, always remember death concept, because it helps me in the moment realize that the point of all of this isn't to live as long as possible. It's to live as full as possible. And so when you think about living as full as possible, then it doesn't matter how long you do it. Right? It's about maximizing this single moment, being as present, being as engaged, being as fulfilled in this moment as you possibly can. And then the next moment, and then the next moment, and let the next moment follow as it will. And if at some point it ends, then it doesn't really matter how many of those moments you had, because those were damn good moments. And I think the people that look up, even if they lived, 85, 90 years, that you look up with regret are the ones that they didn't do that. They just had their heads down. They didn't know how to live. They lived the same month 138 times in a row, right? They never grew. They never challenged themselves. They never went for that dream. They never stepped out of their comfort zone and said what could be, and they never risked failing. And this is why the man in the arena quote from Franklin Roosevelt is so damn good. It's why it's on my wall in my apartment, is that at the end of the day, it's better to strive greatly and fail than to never know the bittersweet taste of failure or success. And I think most people go through life never experiencing failure or success. And therefore they'll get to the end of the road and it's like, what was the point of even being here? And another concept Seneca talks a lot about, and this is really interesting, is that you've already been dead. For the vast majority of the universe's existence, you weren't here. You have no conscious recollection, right? And so if like being dead is no different than not existing, then what happened every second of the universe's lifespan up to the moment you were born, you've already been dead for, right? So you have this precious gift that occurs in a very finite, very brief instant of time. And the question is just how do we maximize that? How do we live fully in that? And I think part of it, there's two parts of it. One is living with intention in the moment. Not living for the future, not dwelling in the past, but living in the moment, because that's the only thing you really have is this instant. And then with that instant, using your time to pursue something that makes you feel fulfilled. So that's helping others, serving others, adding some kind of benefit to the world, or just experiencing the universe in its grand beauty, complexity. But I think so much of my younger years was just spent in a hedonistic pleasure cycle that it wasn't really, it wasn't an intentional, it wasn't a fulfilling experience, because the goal is not just to be happy. Like you ask people like, hey, what's your goal in life? They're like, I just want to be happy. It's like, if you want to be happy, heroin can do that, right? Like that's what happens when you just pursue happy. The happy isn't really what humans really need. Humans need purpose. And they need intention. And without that, everything else kind of falls apart.